So today I'm doing a little nano tank for some Caridina shrimp that I'm hoping is going to go well because I've recently come across some new information. So Caridina shrimp is something that I've always struggled with, like many of you. If you haven't got the perfect water, they sort of tend to die off over time. Not like instantly or anything, you know, nothing tragic, but like over time they just sort of fade out. But recently there was a video by Aquarium Co-op that was posted, and there was a guy there, like a master breeder. I'll leave a link to the video because it's very interesting. And he used a special soil and a very little of it as well. The soil was this stuff, which is Aquadama soil. It's used for like bonsai trees and things like that. So I didn't even know it existed until the video. So, you know, this guy's having great success doing, you know, water changes as regularly or as unregularly as I do in all my other tanks. And it just sounded like the perfect solution. So I'm gonna give it a go. So hopefully you can see here, we are doing great. This tank is just covered in adults. I've seen teeny tiny babies everywhere as well. Look at that little blue one right on the, can't pick it up. I need a different lens, but just on that edge there's a teeny tiny blue. Oh, there's another one in the background as well. You know, there's just shrimp everywhere in this tank. It's doing great. But yeah, that's Neo Caridina, which is kind of different. They're very, very forgiving with water parameters. Like, they'll pretty much just breed and do well in anything. I found that as long as you've got a decent amount of cereal stone, some sand, and then like you can have dustings of food as well as pellets if you want, you're covering the needs of the baby, the adults, and they're getting the water hardness they need for their shells and that as well. But yeah, it's great success in this so far. Great success. Oh, and before we carry on, one of my favourite bristle noses is out. I want to show you. Oh, well, he was out. He's just run straight. Well, he didn't run, he swam straight back in there. He's looking so good at the moment as well. Oh, that's a shame that all the fish in this tank, they're popping like crazy because we've got the new light, but oh, he looked extra special. Come back in a minute, I'll show you if he comes out again. I don't know why I'm saying he, I know it's a female because it doesn't have the bristles, but it's massive. Anyway, today we are scaping this tank here. It's a nano. It's a good size, to be honest, like for a small collection of shrimp, especially if you're trying to breed up numbers from a smaller group, which is what I've done in this one here. But this is actually just the Neo Caridinas again, but there's babies everywhere in this one as well. But yeah, I cannot remember the dimensions off the top of my head, so I will place them up here somewhere right now. It's a decent size, you know, it's a great little starting nano tank. Hand up against it, look. You can do something cool in there, can't you? Like, it's not going to be like groundbreaking, is it? But I think this is a really, really good starter size, to be honest, especially for a few shrimp, something like that. It's not great for fish, although you can have a good little group of endlers or something like that, something very small in there. But for shrimp, it can work really, really well. So the first thing we need to do is put the layer of soil in, and it's such a fine layer that even this little bag is plenty. So we really don't need to use a lot of this stuff, and from what I can gather, the idea is just to place a thin layer of it across the whole base of the aquarium, like just a couple of grains thick across the board. I sort of just piled it into the middle and then spread it out to the edges with my hands. And to be honest with you, I really like the colour of this soil as well. Aqua soil is traditionally like really black, isn't it, and dark, and it doesn't look that natural when it's on show. Most of the time I bury it under sand anyway, but when you can see it, it doesn't really do anything for me. But this brown, yeah, it looks natural, love it. Right then, that's it, we're done. Fill it up, put the shrimp, no. What I want to do for this one is a real simple decoration, but it's going to take some work to start with. I want to put in like a little structure that we can use as a platform to put buces onto to show them off. It's quite hard to explain, it's probably easier just to build it and show you that way. So here, oh, that's an expensive lens I nearly knocked over. Why have I left it there? I don't know. So we've got a rock here and a collection of smaller rocks. Now what I want to do is kind of build something that looks sort of natural, a little bit mountainy, but doesn't take up a lot of area, you know, on the bottom of the tank, and it's all one piece that can be lifted out later on. Now it's going to take some fiddling around, of course, but how am I going to stick it together? So we've got some glue, some tissue, a pipette and a reacting agent. You don't have to have the reacting agent, but it makes things set instantly instead of having to wait at all, like literally like rock straight away. So the first thing I want to do, if I want that piece to go on there, which I think I do, sort of working well as a good start, you take a little bit of tissue. This is like double skin stuff, so you sort of peel it back. I find it works better when you've just got one sheet. Crumples and makes a smaller, tighter ball that you can then put the glue on. And then you just want to sort of ram it between the two pieces. Push it in so it's like really tight and compact and there's more contact points on both pieces of the rock. Now this glue is not the gel, this is just the liquid stuff. I've cut the top off and I've got this pipette which I'll just dispose of afterwards because it will go like stuck together. Just want to put it in and draw out about 1 mil. And then you can just drip it all onto the tissue and the tissue soaks it in really fast because we kept it nice and fine. Well, not fine, but you know what I mean, like thin. Make sure you cover the whole of the tissue and a little bit on the rock as well. The whole idea behind the pipette is that you can really target each area then and get right in deep as well. Next, just take the reactant agent, spray it on, and you'll actually see the chemical reaction. You'll start fizzing and then there'll be like a puff of smoke. Pretty much after you see that puff of smoke, it's absolutely solid. That's like concrete. I mean, you can go around the back and add even more tissue if you want to be completely sure, but even that's enough. If I wanted to, I could of course snap it apart, but you know, it's going to hold its own weight completely fine. And the good thing is the white of the tissue actually looks like veins in the rock, just like above. Now it's just a case of keeping on going and doing lots of it until I'm happy with the shape. And there we go, guys. I have created a monstrosity. Now granted, it doesn't look that great at the moment, but it is secure. There you go, we can pick it up. Look at that, absolutely solid. The glue goes as hard as the actual rock. Now the whole idea of this is that it's like a plinth for stuff to sit on. So you won't be seeing a lot of it. You'll probably just see the Buce, a little bit of rock poking through. That's kind of why I did it just sort of any old way. A couple of extra pieces as well, just to put some pieces of Buce in the foreground. Then they can sit on that individually, just a few. And yeah, it should look pretty good. Right, it's now time for us to attach our Buces, and for that we need the gel version of the super glue. It's basically the same, but gel. And then that means it doesn't run anywhere, so you can just blob it on and stick the Buce on top of it. But first, we need to get some Buces. And I just happen to have quite a few to choose from. These are all from tanks that I've got dotted around, from previous little setups that I've also put in plant growouts too. Just putting them to the side really, just because I know that I'd want to use them again. Exactly for moments like these, to be honest. Yeah, some of them are looking a little bit better than others. It's hard to tell in this light, but that piece there is actually amazing. We've got Buce Caridina, we've got wavy green, we've got red. Red is actually this because the underside of the leaves are quite pinky red. There's a wavy green. I'm not actually sure it's called that anymore, but never mind. That's what I call it anyway. So this one here is already on some serious stone, so I just might as well keep it on there and I can place that anywhere I want in the tank then. Now we just need to glue the rest to the sculpture. So yeah, we want to take our sculpture just like that. And I find that if you mist it with water first, the glue will actually stick a lot better. It seems to react with the water quite well. And then it's just a case of placing some pieces on. I'm trying to be quite random with it. I'm not too worried about how it like sort of looks in terms of colouring because they all just look good together anyway. It would be a shame to completely cover up the rock, wouldn't it? So I'll leave a little bit on show. Oh, I mean, even that looks really good, doesn't it? Right, let's crack on. Oh yeah, we're done. We've got some awesome pieces here. It's actually quite hard to see them properly at the moment. Let's get them in the tank and get some water in there as well before everything dries out. Right, here's the main piece going in. Does it fit under? Yeah, it does. Please don't fall. It should definitely not fall apart, to be honest. We've used a lot of glue and tissue there to bind all that together. How's that looking? Is that central? Kind of central? How about that? Slight angle. It looks so good in there, doesn't it? Oh, look at that. And then another big bit, which I'm not sure we're going to need, to be honest. If we do, it should go behind it like that. I think with just the one piece in there like that, it looks really good. In fact, I think to make it less square, we can put it over this side. How's that? And then it looks to me like it needs some pieces in the foreground for sure. Nice green in this section to go against the reds. And then just the little accents. One there, and then maybe one out here as well. I really like that. I think it just looks wicked. And then a couple of little stones for detail without Buce, just to bring that stone into the foreground a little more. So that is looking so cool. Right, let's fill it up before it all dries out. And it will look even different again with water in there. Hopefully the water doesn't make it lose some of that special pop. Normally it makes plants look better, I find, when you fill them up, but we'll see. Buce is strange. It's one of those plants that's not very like, I don't know, it's not a flamboyant plant, is it? But it's one that everyone loves. Like every aquascaper loves Buce. Anyway, let's now fill the tank up nice and slowly. We're filled up, we're looking pretty good. We're full of bubbles at the moment, which kind of makes it look a bit misty and cloudy. There will be some dusty particles from the rock, of course, and a little bit of dust from the soil as well. But straight away, I'm loving how the soil looks under the light and in the water. I'm so impressed with it. Like, it looks so much better than the black soil that we usually get, I think, anyway. It looks a lot more natural. I think if it was black, it would massively take away from the Buce. But now we need to put a filter in. And here is the filter. It's just a tiny little thing. It's not really doing a huge amount apart from keeping the water move around. There's a bit of a sponge in there and a little bit of filter floss as well that should get the water crystal clear. The sponge is actually from a previous setup. They're covered in beneficial bacteria already, so I've just taken it out and swapped it in. It's not a huge amount, but remember, every surface inside the aquarium will eventually be covered in beneficial bacteria. We're also going to be doing daily water testing as well, so we've got nothing to worry about on that front. So I'm going to slide it into this back area and just have it so the flow is gently flowing across the back of the tank. But if you have a look at the top, we've got a little bit of duckweed. We do not want that in there, that's coming straight out. So it's a new day and the tank is absolutely crystal clear. Like, it couldn't be, it's like gin. Now I'm really interested to see what the water parameters are like, because obviously I've never used this Bonsai substrate system before. There's not a lot there, so hopefully it doesn't change anything too much. It'd be cool if it brings the pH down a little. I mean, probably that's what it does. I don't know yet. So the testing is done. What we're showing at the moment is very little to zero ammonia, zero nitrite, and we're getting nitrates between 5 and 10, I would say. Good, we want a little bit of nitrates. As always, a planted tank needs nitrates. And then the pH though, it comes out of my tap at 7. And I think we're looking between 6.8 and 6.6 there maybe. So it has lowered the pH by a few points, which is really good, especially for Caridina, which is what we're going to be putting in here. So that's awesome so far. I'm going to do some more testing at the end of today. And if it stays like this, then I'm going to put the shrimp in, because why not? So it is now the next day. I've done more testing on the tank and things are looking even better now. So first of all, there's no ammonia. Nitrates are still sitting about 5 to 10, something like that. But the pH has dropped even further and we're now sitting at about 6.4, something like 6.2, 6.4. A really good number for the crystal shrimp. We can go get them. I'm so excited. Hello, nostrils. We start every video
with me laughing.
with you laughing, and you,
Yeah, because
and
then
you know, Matt.
You press record.
Yeah.
You say something, I laugh, you press record.
Matthew, I am after some shrimp for my new Buce tank.
Yep.
I have shown him the Buce tank. You have seen the. We're going for this new substrate thing that's supposed to be good.
Yep. Something to try out.
All the parameters have come back perfect, so
Okay.
we're looking ready to go. I mean, a proper shrimp tank, people would say you need to leave the tank for 2 months to generate something. Yeah. I don't do that. I just feed the tank and all that generates as they're in there. So we're all good. That's all good. As long as your parameters are good, I feel like you can put shrimp in straight away. If you're doing a full-on breeding setup, then you probably do need to wait quite a while, because if there's babies now, there won't be anything for them to feed off, whereas we can feed the adults.
Yeah, exactly.
And we've got adults.
We've got adults.
Ideal. Show me the adults.
Show me the adults.
Oh, there we go.
Up on the sponge filter.
Oh, you've got quite a few.
Yeah, there's quite a few living in amongst the moss balls and stuff.
Are they all reds?
Yes, they are all red crystals.
Okay,
so
cool.
we've got a good group of red crystals, obviously mixed in with the lilies there. So
Yeah, all good. Probably the worst shot. There we go. He's a high grade one, that one, isn't he?
yeah, he is. Yeah, he's a little bit higher grade
I'm not,
on that one.
to be honest, I'm not worried about the grading and all that. I think they're all great.
You just want them to look pretty.
Yeah, I'm happy. In fact, apparently the more red, the less high grade, but I think that looks nice.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it is. Then you get into the markings and the spots on the back of the head. And
I'm not. I just want to get a nice little breeding group.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's what the majority of people want as well.
Yeah.
And hopefully with this new method, it's going to be like that.
I think it'll be good. Yeah, it looks like it's going to work. From what I've looked online, it seems like it works. So yeah.
Let's go for it. Just a little group, maybe a little group of 100 to start with.
100, perfect. Yeah, no problems.
I wish. Let's go with 10. We'll go with 10.
Yeah, nice.
Hopefully that.
You should get some males and females in there then.
Yeah,
So.
we've got a good mix. All good. Got them all?
Yeah.
Oh, they look beautiful. I can't wait to get them in the tank. Let's go. I say let's go. I don't mean you, I mean me.
No, I've got to stay and work.
Well, no, we're going to go get some lunch, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Quite late.
So we're back from the fish shop. The shrimp are just over here in this pot. Now usually with Caridina shrimp, I can just put them straight in. The water parameters are pretty much the same as long as the temperature's the same, and they're absolutely fine. But with Caridina shrimp, a little bit more sensitive to changes, so I'm going to drip acclimate them. Okay, so it's a simple process. We've got the shrimp in the bottle here in a little bit of their own water, and then, oh, I've already started the siphon accidentally. Right, so we've got a siphon coming from the tube all the way down, and it's just a case of turning the tap on like that. There we go, drip, 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 drip. It's a bit too fast. I'll slow it down. There we go, just like that, and I'll come back in half an hour. Like the water will just be going in gently, they'll get acclimatized to it a little bit better, and we should be okay. So it has been about 45 minutes. You can see we've filled up from there to there, so really taking our time with that one, but now we can put the shrimp in. I'm really looking forward to this. I just think they're gonna look so good on this booster phalandra. Now remember, most of this boost is from other tanks, so it's already covered in beneficial bacteria, biofilm, that kind of thing. So they're going to have stuff to sort of peck on straight away, but I will be specifically feeding the tank as well. Oh yeah, just before I add the shrimp, I want to put in this piece of cholla wood as well that I've had in another tank. I think that'll sit nicely there. There we go, that's covered in beneficial bacteria and everything that they can just graze on. And then I've also got this awesome little feeding tube as well. Just push that boost to the side a little. There we go. Look at that. Oh, that looks so good. Again, that's been in another tank, so everything's got beneficial bacteria on it, so we're all good in that aspect. Oh yes, we're looking smart. Let's put them in. Oh, you just can't go wrong with that look. I mean, they'd stand out so well on the soil, but they still look natural, you know, like, and on the boost there, a little bit of algae on that boost, but that's not going to hurt. Let's give them something to munch on. As you can just see them, they stand out so well. I cannot wait till we've hopefully got hundreds of them in here. I think we've got 12 to begin with in the end, but there's going to be so many more as time goes by. I'm sure of it. I'm sure we're going to nail this one. Another important factor to note is that a TDS is recommended of around 200 to 250, that kind of area. We're currently at 100, so I need to add something to the water to bring that TDS level up. And for that we can use any GH and mineral supplement. Now TDS isn't just a be all and end all. If you've got low TDS like me, I know that adding the right stuff will bring it up, but if you've already got a high TDS, then you need to bring that down by using reverse osmosis water. This is basically like pure water that you add the minerals to the specific number, which is basically what I'm doing from the 100 to the 200 range. There's nothing there, so I need to add minerals to bring it up to that level. So it has now actually been 2 weeks since I set up the tank, and it is doing amazingly well. As we look down here just to see one of the shrimp having a little snack on some of their dinner. Now I'm not sure if you're seeing it, but there is a gentle level of algae on all the surfaces. And that's a mixture of diatom algae and just normal green algae as well. You can see here on some of the buces at the back there's some algae. It's starting to sort of go a hazy white though, which means I think it is dying back. And we've also got snails laying eggs on the front glass, so we should have a load of snails soon as well, which I think is absolutely brilliant and great for the whole ecosystem. The tank has stayed completely clear the whole time as well. I think it looks fantastic. And I'm not sure how, but the duckweed has somehow made its way back into the tank. Not to worry, I'll take that out in a sec. But yeah, all the shrimp are still here and accounted for, and they're doing really, really well. And because of the soil, the tank has settled with a pH of 6.4. That's against the usual 7 that my tap water has. Again, this is actually really, really good for Caridina shrimp. So hopefully it means that we're going to be having great success in the long term with this tank. Now we have got adult shrimp here, so hopefully soon we're going to see some buried and we'll get some babies. Now I've only once been successful in breeding Caridina shrimp before, and it was pretty early on when I started keeping fish and shrimp, and I'm pretty sure it was a fluke. So hopefully we get better success this time. If not, it's still fun, I still love the look of it, and these shrimp are doing really, really well. Long may it continue.